There are currently 6 freezing skills in the game,
and I will be doing worst to best freezing in Super Bomb Survival.
But before we start, like and subscribe, it would really help me out a lot. But let's continue with the video.
Number 6 we have Cold Snap. The Cold Snap is a defensive skill that quickly freezes your surroundings.
It can freeze players and terrain, but though the freezing is not good, the freezing is less than 2 seconds, making it stalling horrible.
But the Cold Snap is not meant to freeze players. The Cold Snap is meant to freeze
lava or fire, but it's still a bad freezing and lava freezing.
But this skill can save you if you do time it correctly. If you're falling toward lava, if you time it correctly. But overall, this freezing skill is the worst. Number 5 we have Ice Tower.
The Ice Tower is a movement skill that summons an ice tower that can rise you and players to a higher ground
for a few seconds until the ice tower cracks and breaks, releasing a burst of ice in the ground, freezing players.
Heads up, by the way, this skill is the worst skill in the game. I put it in number 4 cause the freezing is better than Cold Snap.
But the skill is a counter version of the truss, and the truss is the movement skill by getting in the shop, while the ice tower you have to get the winter pack by buying 195 gems. So this skill has good freeze time, mobility, but not good for offense. Number 4 we have Freeze Staff. The Freeze Staff is an offense skill that shoots ice spike when activating. If it hits a player, it will have small medium ice burst, and it does 20 damage
and gives 15 skill points,
which does seem mediocre. But there is one problem.
It's super hard to freeze up a player. How it works, you have to aim or be lucky to freeze the player. So I recommend going up close to the player so you can surely hit them. Number 3 we have Freeze Mine.
The Freeze Mine is mine that have a burst of ice when exploding.
It does 0 damage, but it has good explosion range.
The freeze is not that bad as a freezing skill in the game. It's just when you place the Freeze Mine, the options to players is to run away. But this does not make the Freeze Mine useless. With the Freeze Mine's explosion range, you can hit a player if they run to your mine wall, they're away from keyboard, or they don't have enough time to escape.
So the Freeze Mine has
good freezing, good range, but players can escape if they notice.
This skill is not that bad, so you can use it if you want.
Number 2 we have Ice Meteor.
The Ice Meteor is an offense skill that you call an ice meteor that falls from the sky to the ground, freezing players.
Now, the reason why it's higher than the Freeze Mine is cause players won't really look up, they would just run around dodging bombs. This skill does no damage, but its range is okay. But it is a Freeze Mine 2.0 but in the air.
So the Ice Meteor has good freezing, mid-range, short range of explosion.
But let's move on to a kind of ice skill.
First place we have Ice Spikes. The Ice Spikes is a fence skill that summons 7 spikes of ice shards. Oh, and one thing to note, the Ice Spikes does not freeze players. I believe I have a reason, but I will get into that soon.
The Ice Spikes does damage, but depending on the level.
Level 1 does 10 damage, Level 2 does 15 damage, Level 3 does 20 damage. Okay, here's the reason. If the player would get frozen, the spike would still hit them, so that's why it does not freeze. But this skill is pretty balanced,
and you can get a lot of skill points with the ice spikes with multiple players, so that's why it's number 1 best ice or freezing. But that's the end of this video. Thanks for watching. It would be nice if you can subscribe and like this video. Thank you, and see you next time.